Danny, how proud are you of the team this evening?
I think it's a night to be proud of the team, the performance, the pitch, which is a big credit to the ground staff, the supporters in the town, how they carried themselves throughout the game, got behind us. They had plenty to sing about, but as always, they started it. The whistle goes and they're all behind us, and it gives our players a lift. So it's a proud night. Just sit up there that, yes, we're only 3 games in, but the supporters more than anyone should enjoy the night. But the players and staff know that come Saturday we've got another tough game in Notts County.
How pleased were you with the way the side played then?
It's a great performance. I think it's one of them at half time. You think it's going to take a heck of a U-turn to sort of not be happy with the performance in the second half. There's a lot of lads that have to drop their game for us to come off. That was disappointing, but they maintained it and kept it up. And I think you saw how we sort of extinguished their main threats, long throws and corners, which, by the way, they're going to hurt a lot of teams with that. Tonight, to make sure that wasn't us. As I always say, I always look at myself, Gary, the gaffer, always look at the character of players. And do they listen to the game plan? Are they up for the fight? And whether it's the lads who started, the ones on the bench, or the ones who did it, getting changed today. I think it's a big pat on the back for entertaining these sports tonight.
They made 4 changes and they bolstered their wing backs as well. Is that a compliment to yourself?
I think so. I think it's the modern game now. I think a lot of teams change for oppositions. What I've learnt with Paul Cook in a brief time, and I've learnt loads, is that he doesn't tend to do that. And one thing that does bring is a knowledge from one player to the next, what each one's doing, whether it be open play, set pieces, attacks, defence, killing the game in the last few minutes. So that's something I've learned as a coach. Sometimes you don't always have to change things to match opposition. Sometimes you've got to keep doing what you're good at. And things will happen. I think you're seeing now the patterns that are worked on in training, the end products, the finishing positions, like the gaffer says, where he wants people from crosses, etc. But ultimately, you've got Liam Manning covering 100 metres in the last minute just to try and put a tackle in. Those things, especially with these Chesterfield fans, don't go amiss. And that's what drives them on to do it. When they hear him encourage him to go back and track Mendy in the last minute, even though the game's virtually won. And to do that, week in, week out is what we need to get out of this league.
Did you feel that midfield is an area where you could win the game?
Not necessarily. I think, if you look at our midfield, Ollie Banks is an excellent footballer, and DJ is an excellent footballer. So we have got 2 excellent central midfielders. So if you want to say that's where we can win it, albeit we've also got centre forwards that are doing well, creative players doing well, goalies coming in a different class, by the way, and a back 4 that are looking like they've played with each other since George Graham at Arsenal. You know what I mean? So it's so far, it's really pleasing for us as staff, because they're listening to the manager's instructions and they're giving the supporters to be something to go home and be excited about. But we're 3 games in, and the early bricks are there to sort of build the house, so to speak, to get us over the line in the long run. But it's a long way to go. Wrexham will certainly be up there, but the biggest thing I think tonight was to give our supporters something to cheer about, considering that last year we had 2,000 Wrexham fans singing and rubbing it in a little bit, and that was our turn. But come the morning, attention turns to Notts County, because this is a ruthless league.
Made 1 change, bringing back Akwasi Asante after his knock. Michael Gyasi not on the bench either. Is anything there?
No, not at all. It's hard because Kwasi's done so well for us. One resource obviously missed out. It's all shot. Mark coming works absolute socks off. Certain things didn't come off for him, but he will be a very good player for us. If you'll have to look at we had a group training today with Gary and myself that was would grace a lot of teams in this league, and the attitude and application they showed in that hour and a half training session this afternoon, knowing they weren't even going to be involved in this absolute tremendous atmosphere tonight, is a credit to those boys. So we're going to need them, Michael being one of them. The ones who started tonight won't play every game for whatever reason, so it's important that everyone's ready to step in when called upon.
Obviously, we touched on this on Saturday as well, about seeing games out. Are you able to bring Mike Jones on as well to do that role?
Yeah, I think Mike's been around the block. He knows what's asked of him. Coops comes on, and George Cooper, who's a creative player, who's played at a much higher level, and all he's doing is working back for his team, defending set pieces. So there's that real team ethic at the minute going on with the boys. At the minute the squad's looking strong. We know there'll be injuries along the way, but like I keep saying, that the gaffer makes a big point about the players not involved are just as important, because they don't bring the mood down. I've been at clubs where if you get a few characters that can bring the mood down, then ultimately that will have a knock-on effect to the first 2 minutes performance. So overall it's a very good night for players, staff, most importantly, supporters.
Notts County on Saturday. Is it pleased to get those two big guns out of the way, really?
Not necessarily. I think if last year we're flying, we lost at Maidenhead, with all due respect. At that point, we're fighting relegation. So you can. For me, every game is. We all shot 1-0, you beat Wrexham 2-0. So on paper, you go, what's the difference? All the shot going win at Bournemouth tonight. So it is a ruthless league, and there's only so many times we can all say it, because we've all been there. We've seen this league, sadly for Chesterfield fans, for too many years now. But 3 games in, I think we're going in the right direction, but it's so early. We've just got to focus on Saturday now and make sure we go there and give another good account of ourselves.